All right. Hello, everyone. This is the fifth time you hear this, but hello once again. So it's a pleasure to be here. We are very happy to take the opportunity to share our journey towards reshaping the way we manage customer service in Generali through AI, Agentic AI, generative AI. So far, I would say this event has been great. This is the first year we attend, so we hope that we will share with you things that are also new or maybe interesting from the perspective of a large group like Generali is, operating in multiple markets, more than 50 different countries, serving over 70 million customers in B2C and B2B business. And above all, you will see we have many interactions with our customers we have to manage properly. Before going into the details of our story, a few words about me. My name is Cristian. I work in Generali since a few years now. I lead the implementation of our AI strategy at group level. We are part of the global head office team, so in our role, we have to take care of making sure that all our countries and markets are taking the best out of this technology that is changing every day. It's not easy, but it's super exciting for us. Generali is an insurance company, also an asset management company, but primarily an insurance company. We can insure your car, your house, your health, your life, your travel, and also your dog. If you have a dog, we have a fantastic pet insurance offering, believe me. Now, a bit more of context. Sorry. Together with me on stage, we have Michele, was being introduced already. Off the stage, we have also Lavinia, there it is. They are a fantastic team who is leading this global voice bot program in Generali since 1 year now. They made a great job, and Lavinia will be on the expo zone, so please make some questions also to her, not all on us. Michele is the tech lead that is putting the fantastic tech expertise in all this story. But before going further with the content, one element more. So we have millions of customers, I told you, and every day, thousands of customers pick up the phone and call us. Phone call is still one of the preferred channels for them. They send emails, they have the mobile app, WhatsApp, but they still like to call us. And every time they call, they have different needs. Sometimes it's just an information. Am I covered in my policy? Can you send me the duplicate of my policy? Can I change the address? Simple, transactional. Other times it's a bit more emotional. Maybe they had an accident and they don't know what to do. They need support. And so it's a bit more tricky than just giving a simple information. So every conversation is different. Every customer is different. But they all share the same expectation. Please understand what I'm asking. Please solve my need as fast as you can, and I don't want to call you again to ask the same things 2 times. So no repetition, just one experience to be successful. And when you look this through the lenses of our scale, this is a very complex mission to accomplish over the entire customer base. Every year, we manage over 50 million inbound calls, which means 1 million calls per week. And every call, as I said, is different. Million of calls where we have to understand the reason of the call, the intent, million of routing decisions to take, and of course, million of opportunities to get the interaction right or wrong. And when we get it wrong, it's not ideal for us, because our data, this is not, let's say, fake data, it's real data from our big data lake, are telling us that promoters in the specific customer service touch point, they tend to churn less than detractors. Or the other way, detractors, they tend to leave us more frequently when they are unhappy with the customer service interaction. On the other hand, when they are happy, they are more likely to buy new products and services, maybe an house coverage on top of their car coverage, or a pet insurance coverage. So the why we need to improve is clear. The business case is built around efficiency and top-line protection and growth. How to do it? In one word, making sure that we break all the barriers we have in a large and federated group like us. I said we operate in multiple markets. Each market is different. They have different maturity systems. The contact center might be partially in-house, in outsourcing. They have one contact center system, then it's on-prem, on cloud. It's heterogeneous. They also have different maturity in terms of AI adoption in customer service. When we started 1 year ago, we realized that only 1 or 2 of our markets were actually being able to judge how good can be AI in their customer service. They had still some script, very rigid, press 1, 2, 3, don't say this around, but we still have some press 1, 2, 3 systems around the group. So we wanted to improve this, and so we launched the program to standardize, baseline, and scale this AI adoption in customer service consistently. But before doing that, we said, let's not start with the technology. Let's try to understand why the customers are calling. Otherwise, if we are blind to intent, we are blind to improve. So we didn't have the technology at scale. Of course, you can imagine which technology I'm referring to. So we wanted to first, with our own effort, try to baseline consistently over the 50 million calls, the top reason of call, to understand, should we go really full agentic, or there are still things that are very transactional in high volume and we can manage with AI, but not with the bazooka. And this is what we did. As a global team, we like not only to give, let's say, directions and steering on this market, you have to do this, this, and this. We also provide assets and accelerators, and this is one of the accelerators we created. It's a speech analytics tool that was able, over a sample of a lot of recordings, to identify from the ground up more than 150 different reasons of call that are behind our daily, let's say, customer service operation. And once we did it, we have been able to build this fantastic consulting-like metrics for each and every market, where we know that there are things that are high volume or low complexity, or both, and there we want to fully automatize with the best technology available. It can be NLU 2.0 powered by LLM. It can be a bit of agentic. And then there are other things where we think that we have to be more flexible. We have to explore a bit more. We have to be more brave and test agentic AI end-to-end, because there is where the customer is asking us to understand things that are a bit more complex than, can I change my policy data, or can you tell me when my policy is expiring? So it's a diversified approach to accomplish the same goal I said at the beginning: reduce the cost to serve while protecting and growing our top line. This might seem obvious to you, but in a large group like ours, with many business units that have different operations in place, building a matrix and attaching to each of these intents an ambition in terms of automation rate, for us, it's been a great achievement in just a few months last year. So we are very happy to have achieved this. Now we have to move to the execution to implement this. And so I said, the left side of this slide, forget it. It reached the limit. We don't want to see it anymore. If I find one of our markets still with this approach, no good. We will go there, we will fly to Malaysia, Thailand, wherever it is, and really dismantle this and go towards another direction, which is step by step becoming more and more agentic. Not full agentic, again, I don't want to oversell that everything will be agentic, but this is where we want to go, in a way that will become easy to implement, fast to implement, and fast to test, where there will be an agentic chain behind every interaction and conversation that will manage possibly the full conversation, or at least the most difficult part of it. That typically is understanding what the customer actually wants. Of course, partnering with a big player, a very credible player in the market, was key for us. We selected Cognigy over also quite tough, sorry guys, but tender and procurement process. But they proved to be the best player in terms of credibility in a large group where we have to convince each and every market that they have to do it now, implement. They offer speed of execution and validation. Michele will tell you in a second. Thanks to them, we managed to onboard many countries, not only on the baselining methodology, but also on the technological setup. And I have to say that, last but not least, they are proven in production. I heard this today also, so they are not theoretical. It's not just saying we do this and they don't do. They are really, guys, you are really good on this. You are in production, and this is, for us, fundamental to, again, credibility and scalability at the same time. So that's where we are today. So we have all the countries with a clear plan in terms of automation and augmentation of the customer service. We have all the countries, almost all the countries, with the technology set up. Now it's a matter of implementing the flows, the legacy flows, to the new approach and the new technology, as well as redesigning some of them for the better, for the improvement. I leave the floor to Michele, that can now show you how we...
So good morning, everyone. Today, I'm glad to share with you our result in terms of validation of our Agentic AI across different business units. So our goal has been very clear from the start. We want to test how Agentic AI can recognize customer intent, identify them, and then also maybe collect some data to manage the request. To do this in a quick way, let's say quick, now we will see how much time we spend, but to do this in a quick and consistent way, we create a framework to implement proof of concept, and we already implemented this in several countries, and now let me walk you through the process. So in the first week, we can, okay. So in the first week, we define together with Cognigy and our business unit the list of the intent the voice bot should be able to recognize, all the data that are useful to identify our customer, and also the additional data that we may need to manage the request. Then in another week, let's say in the next week, we have the implementation phase. Here, Cognigy, together with us, are able to implement in 1 week our flow and also to create all the endpoints that we need to test the voice bot. Here, even if you can see 1 week, I would, let's say, to highlight that now Cognigy is able to implement this kind of OPC in just 3 days. Then we have the next week, the testing phase, where our business unit are called to test our voice bot. And to do this, we ask them to generate at least 100 calls from at least 15 different callers, so we can simulate real customer situation. Then we have 1 week to collect all the results and to, let's say, prepare our database to validate the test. Actually, at the beginning of our approach, we did this in 1 week, but now, thanks to Cognigy and all the automation that we implement, we are able to run the collection of data in just 1 day. Thank you, Cognigy. And here we are at the last phase, the evaluation. In 1 week, thanks to all the data that we were able to prepare, we can compute all the useful KPIs that we need to evaluate the Cognigy performance. So as you can see, in just 5 weeks, actually less than 5 weeks, we are able to go from setup to the voice bot evaluation. And keep in mind that this is, let's say, something that can be then applied to different business units, no matter the language, the process, the backend system, and so on. So here we can see now some results. As I told you, we run this POC in several countries. Here you can see just few, so Portugal, Austria, Italy, Slovenia, Poland, and so on. And here you can see the results in terms of performance. So first of all, customer identification. Thanks to Cognigy, we are able now to recognize our customer with an accuracy of 81%. And as you can see, the previous KPI was quite the, let's say, the half. And to identify our customer, we collect several data based on each country. So for instance, we can ask them the surname, date of birth, plate number, identification number, VAT number, and so on. Then in terms of intent classification, we are also able now to, let's say, increase our performance. We increased from 57 to 94%. And here our focus, again, thank you, Cognigy, because here, as you can see, we just focus on our main topics, claim opening and claim inquiry. But then, of course, we can see in a while that if we focus on one example, Slovenia, where, as you can guess, the language and pronunciation can be challenging, we still have high performance. In terms of customer identification, we have 83% if we just focus on policy number and date of birth. Then in terms of intent classification, we have 91% as accuracy. And as you can see, for many topics, so change data, claims, payments, reminder, we are very close to 100%. So again, thank you. Yes, so let's say before closing, I really want to thank our business unit, because thanks to them, we are able to let's say, test our POC approach in several countries by using several languages. But of course, thanks to Cognigy team, whose collaboration was essential to deliver this approach in just 5 weeks. So thank you, Cognigy. Thank you in particular to Alex, Natasha, and Lisa, just to mention somebody. So, with this, I will hand over again to Cristian for the final remarks.
Okay, all right. So we hope you enjoyed the ride so far. Maybe we didn't have any demo, but again, please.
Stress Lavinia.
Stress Lavinia. We let her shine at the Expo Zone later. Okay, so there it is already. So we are at the end of the journey? No, we are at the very beginning probably. But we have already very clear idea in mind on where we want to land for what is our visibility today. So we aim to 100%, so each and every interaction by the next couple of years should be, in Generali, fully, let's say, not fully in the sense of end-to-end, but each of them should be orchestrated to some kind of AI. There should be AI at the entry point at least, up to the full management wherever it can be done. We know that understanding the intent of the customer is core, because from that you build everything on top. So we have a bold ambition of staying over 90% intent accuracy. We are obsessed with it. So if we are blind to intent, if you fake understanding why the customer are calling, this castle will fall. This should stay up only when we are really pushing to the limit of the technology. Last, but definitely not least, our management, of course, is asking for a bottom line impact out of it. I said we have the top line effect that I didn't show euro, but we can quantify also in euro. But of course, there is the cost to serve that is the primary objective to handle. And there we think that we can achieve up to 65% end-to-end containment rate on the most transaction and high volume type of calls. Of course, when you spread it over the entire calls base, the number will be lower, but for sure we will achieve, I'm quite sure, optimistic, good results in terms of automation very shortly. Now, to close, and then leave for Q&A, let's go back to what I said at the beginning, a customer calling intent. Every interaction for us matters. We don't want any customer to be considered you're calling us and we don't care about you. We have a strategy around being lifetime partner of our customers. And so we think that the next time a customer calls us, it should be totally frictionless, should be no, let's say, pain for the customer. And so there should be the fantastic and, let's say, customer experience that everybody would expect from any company is paying for, he or she is paying for. So, finger crossed, the journey is on, and happy to take your question from now on. Thank you.